Good morning. Let me put my microphone in and then we will be ready to go here. A few minutes early because I'm always afraid that for some reason you guys are not going to, we're not going to connect because it happened that one time. All right, it's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning, and for some of you, a beautiful afternoon. Good morning to those in Norway. My Norwegian family. Good morning. Okay. All right. Looks good. Signal's not bad this morning. The overcast sky is giving us good light for the camera. Sam Baker, howdy from Texas. Let me see who's here. While we're warming up, I'm going to scroll through, see who's here. But also, I'd like for you to give one word description for how your last weekend was, which was Easter weekend. So give me one word that describes Easter weekend for you. All right. Let's see. Kate is here, moderating. Good morning, Kate. Øystein's here, moderating. Good morning. Part of my Norwegian family. Okay, let's see. Liv is here. Good morning. Another part of my Norwegian family. So we got that might be it. Let's see who else is here. Oh, Jamie Bird, Blake and Luke, Black and Luke. Actually, I misspell my name sometimes too, and I put Black a lot. Let's see. The Music Well. Good morning. Sam Baker from Texas. Good morning. Brooke Chilvers. D Dreamer 1995. Good morning, y'all. She must be from Texas or somewhere like Texas. Jamie Bird, John Alford, Liam Glenny, Paul Otis, good morning. Snapper Gardner, or Saper Gardner, sorry, not Snapper. The Weekend Homestead moderating, good morning, Will. Sam Baker, okay, here comes the words for last weekend. Very good. Blessed, magnificent, spiritual, refreshing, blessed, busy. I understand that one. Blessed too, but busy. I always am way too busy. However, last weekend I had some nice moments of rest. Peaceful, awesome. Tangi the Caver's wife is here moderating. Good morning, Tangi. Loving, peaceful. Yo ho ho. J&J Akers with his wrench moderating this morning. Good morning. Alabama. Pat Napper. Music Well. Let's see. Okay, let me get through this. Woo! Man, that was a cold breeze. Hope it doesn't rain on us. The temperature just dropped about 10 degrees right now. I'm getting cold. Liam went fishing. Pat Napier. Luke has grown since I saw him. You've grown up. You're a big boy. Everyone's feeling good. All right. Yes, Kate, you're indoors. Church. D Dreamer 1995. It might drop on us because the sky is very gray. And we just got a real serious cold front. It hit us just like that. It was nice and warm out here. And just in an instant, it got cold. So if we have to... do you want to go get a sweatshirt? Why don't you go grab 2 sweatshirts? Can you do that, bud? Thanks, bud. It is very... It just got chilly. It just got chilly. I'm going to leave Luke's spot open here. Well, I am so glad to hear that you guys had a good weekend last weekend. I had a great weekend. I took last week off with the live stream. You know that, most of you. And it was almost a last minute decision. I decided to... Is it like 60 degrees here? It might be, but you know, for me, I'm a softie, and when the cold front hits, it's all over. I'm a baby. Okay, so last weekend I took Saturday morning off, and that was kind of a last minute decision, but I thought it's Easter weekend, and I really needed to take a break. Last week I took several days off. You know, I didn't produce a video in about a week. And then I had a very busy Saturday on Easter weekend, and I got lots of stuff done. I didn't touch a camera hardly at all. Excuse me. didn't touch a camera hardly at all. And then Sunday, we were preparing Saturday for, I'm getting cold, I can't even talk. Preparing Saturday for Sunday, and we had family over on Sunday, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. We had everything set up and family over here, and we just had a good weekend. It was a very nice weekend. What's Up made it in here. Finally get to be a part of the live stream. Good morning, What's Up. I'm glad you're here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn my notifications off. I hope you guys aren't hearing that. Hold on, let me go in. Let me just turn my sound off. Sorry guys, I'm messing things up because I forgot to. Oh, Texas Blacksmith 10 starting the morning with a $10 super chat. So thankful. Let's see. He says, let's start the ball rolling. This is for Luke's French fries and ice cream fund. We really do. Thank you. Thank you, Luke. Come sit down. Luke brought me a jacket so I'll be comfortable. Go ahead and put yours on. The French fry and ice cream fund, we really do need a special fund for that sometimes, because when Luke needs his French fries, it doesn't matter what else is going on. He needs his French fries. Oh, that feels much better. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I disconnected for just a second because I was trying to turn off the notifications, and I ended up hitting Wi-Fi calling or something. Android did an update on my phone 2 nights ago, and everything looks different, so I'm hitting the wrong things. The Shay Shack or She Shack finally made it to a live stream. Thank you for showing up this morning. It's so good to see you. Liam Glenny, been thinking about moving to Texas. What's it like out there in the summer? Well, it depends on which part of Texas, but most of it's going to be in the summer, meaning for me, summer is the hot months, which is July and August. And those, it's brutal, but I don't complain a whole lot about the heat because I like to complain more about the cold. We get a lot of rain in the spring and fall. Usually it's all at one time. It hits hard, runs off, and then it's very dry through the summer. And a lot of times in the middle of winter, it's kind of dry too. I wish I could eat French fries and stay skinny. That's from Jared. Yes. Well, you know, Luke is blessed, I guess, that way. He eats French fries and ice cream and quesadillas. Those are his 3 main food groups. He does eat a few other things, but those are his 3 main food groups. And lots of vitamins, because we recognize that that's not a balanced diet, obviously. But there's a lot of things he won't eat, so we use a lot of powdered vitamins, and we mix in with some of the foods and some of his drinks. But yes, he stays skinny, which is good for us in the sense that you know, we don't have to worry about him overeating and getting overweight. And it's tough sometimes with a special needs child. There are just special things to consider, and there's with the diet, you know. Well, anyway, we're just very blessed with Luke that he has a good physique, overall general good health, except for the last 6 weeks or so when he's been coughing. But he's smiling, he's looking better. He gained a little bit of weight over the last couple weeks. Cheeks are filling out a little bit, and it's good to see him getting back to normal. Sam Baker, 100s. Do you have any problem with leaf curl in your fruit trees? Yes, and actually recently, the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I'm recognizing a lot of challenges with the fruit trees that I didn't recognize in the first few years. And I think right now it's because of the excessive amount of rain. Everything's just so wet. I haven't done anything at all to change any of that, to mitigate that, but hopefully, as I observe the orchard and I learn more, I'll be able to figure out how to take care of those things. What size is your greenhouse? From Farm Alarm. This greenhouse right behind me is the 6x8 from Harbor Freight. That was kind of like a little poem there. 6x8 from Harbor Freight. You can see a video of mine. It's a fairly popular video where I introduce the greenhouse and then show how to put it together. A lot of people have benefited from that video because the instructions that come with that greenhouse from Harbor Freight are not very good. I got you, size. All right. William O'Donovan from Hungary. It's 1600 in Hungary right now. It's 4 o'clock. All right. The Shea Shack, our youngest, is on the spectrum and loves his Z-bars, like Luke with his French fries. Z-bars, is that kind of like a Cliff Bar? Uh-oh, I feel rain. Is the Z-bar like a... Wind's blowing, knocking stuff over. What keeps your ducks from flying away? Paul Otis. Most of them choose not to fly, which is a very good thing, but occasionally when one gets lift and flies across the yard, we clip one wing. That's just the feathers. It doesn't hurt them. It's just like cutting their hair. We cut the flight feathers off of one wing, puts them off balance for a little bit, keeps them on the ground. William says, ask your dad for a bigger garden. You need a bigger garden? Yep, I know. But his little garden right here is probably doing better than mine. Good morning from Ohio. That was Sherry Ambrose. Good morning, Sherry. Javier Avaristo from Fresno, California. Good morning. Sam Baker. Can you comment on container gardening? I just started, very much a newbie. Well, I can comment. I do some container gardening. I choose a lot of times the fabric pots. You okay? I asked Luke what he wanted to talk about this morning, and he said his plants. So, what is your favorite plant in your garden? Can you tell him what your favorite plant is?
Peppers?
Your peppers. He does have one pepper plant that's doing really well. So Sam Baker, back to your comment about the container gardening. Most recently, I like to choose the fabric pots. That's the... let's see if I don't have any right here. Well, here's a very, very small fabric pot. But it really is just some like landscaping fabric. I have larger ones that I like to plant in, and the reason I like those is because when the roots hit the sidewalls, the tiny roots grow through the fabric and then they get pruned off by light and air, and it encourages more healthy root growth, and the plant does a lot better compared to being in a plastic pot where the roots can hit the sides and swirl around forever and ever. If you set a fabric pot down in a little shallow plate or container, that allows for the water to sit there and wick up through the fabric pot instead of just drying out, because they can dry out. Let's see what else we got here. The Shea Shack has two healthy boys, two special needs boys, picky but healthy. They do tend to be very picky. Luke is extremely picky. This morning we had toast, and it was gluten-free toast, and he's not 100% gluten-free, but this morning he had gluten-free toast, and he had to toast it just right, cut the edges off, and then he only ate half of it because the brown marks on the toast only went around half of it. So let's see. Jared says, what have you harvested lately? Today I harvested some Nana's rose and other flowers for my wife. My daughter has been harvesting roses. We have one rose plant in the corner of the garden. You can see that in 2 videos ago I did a tour of the garden. That rose plant in the garden has produced so many roses. My daughter's been harvesting them and drying them out, and she's been adding the dried rose leaves and flowers in other ingredients to make tea, which has been actually really good. Otherwise, we haven't harvested a whole lot. Trying to think. No, the chickens are harvesting my cucumbers. Liz Lopez, good morning. Patricia Robinson from Seguin, right down the road. Good morning. Freaky Geek 2 says you cannot eat Nana roses. You can make tea from them. Yeah, Øystein says he likes his peppers too. That's his favorite plant. He grows a lot of peppers. William O'Donovan, I watched and subscribed to Luke's YouTube channel yesterday. Well, thank you so much for joining Luke in his Life with Luke YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, Luke is special needs, has what they call FOXG1. FOXG1 is a genetic mutation. For some, it's a duplication where the gene is duplicated, and other times it's a deletion, meaning they're gone. There's a few other technical terms for the stages of how that happens, but I made a YouTube channel for him called Life with Luke. I think it's called Life with Luke, FOXG1 Special Needs. And so there's only 3 videos on there right now. I hope to do more soon, but that hopefully will help people understand Luke and his challenges and other people like that. Where do you get the fancy fabric pots? Tangi says that. The fancy fabric pots can come from really almost anywhere sells them now. Of course, I would love to give you an Amazon affiliate link so I can make a few pennies, but I don't have that ready. So where I like to get the bulk of mine is here in the United States is a website called, what's it called? Greenhouse Mega Store. That's where I buy most of mine. This is why I don't do live shows. I can't even talk. They are fairly inexpensive there, and there's different brands that you can buy. Will says my connection is really bad, so I'll have to log out. Looks like you're well moderated. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you for all of the help. Everyone needs to check out Will at the Weekend Homestead. Look at his channel. Look at all of the exciting things he has going on over on his homestead. Luke is very quiet right now. Luke is quiet most of the time. Most of the time. But he likes to sit with me. He likes to be with me. So I like to have him with me whenever I can. Isn't that right, bud? Yeah. You getting cold? It's getting chilly. Let's see. Scrolling through. If it starts raining hard on us, we might have to cut this one short or move it to the porch. I like your garden. That's Hadramaut Akir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Monty made it, and he is hanging out in South Padre. South Padre. That's down on the Gulf Coast of Texas, and he gets a special.
Mom's home.
Oh, Mom is home. Do you want to go say howdy? Mom just pulled up. I guess the weather's bad and the yard saling's not good this morning. All right, let's see here. What do we got going on? How did I miss that my buddy Luke has his own channel? Jared, he has his own channel. Go check it out. It's called Life with Luke, FOXG1. If somebody wants to post the link there, that would be wonderful. Go look that up and post the link. I should have been prepared this morning with some of those things, but I was actually very, very tired this morning. I got started late. Had my breakfast, but I got out of bed really late because yesterday was kind of a rough day. We put down one of our dogs, and I spent some time last night taking care of that. So that was just, I went to bed kind of just hurting and tired, and I didn't want to get up this morning. What's Up says, do you have ducks for their beauty or is there another reason? Well, I have them for the music. Without my ducks, you wouldn't get this music. I am gonna have to move to the porch. I hope that the connection stays while I move to the porch because it's starting to mist and rain a little bit. And I don't want to get the camera all wet. Hold on. Hopefully you stay with me here. Come on, Harry. Oh, Harry is Luke's dog. He was hanging out with us in the garden. I gotta move to the porch because it's wet. Okay, still with me. You guys are getting a little bit of a farm tour as I walk to the porch. We do have ducks for the little ducks we actually have because my daughter loves ducks. And she just wanted cute little ducks. All right, let's see. Sorry for the very non-professional movements, but I never said I was professional anyway, did I? So I might just have to do a handheld thing here. I'll sit on the porch, on the swing. All right, let's see here. Are you still with me, everybody? All right. The lighting's not as good, I apologize, but we're gonna finish up right here and then we'll just do it better next week, I guess. Rose tea. Yes, some of the ingredients in the tea that my daughter's been making are rose leaves, rose petals, mint, mulberry leaves, blackberry leaves. I can't remember all of it, but she dries it all out, crushes it up, and then puts it in little cloth bags and makes really great tea. All right. I'm way behind on the chat here. Oh, thank you, Tangi, for putting Luke's channel up there. D Minor 214, greetings from Oklahoma. You love the orchard videos. Thank you. The orchard and my garden are two of my favorite places on earth. I love them. Good Game Bees jumping in late. Home Place Journal. All right. Looking good. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here. Doing okay, Luke? Luke's standing behind the camera now. Don't give up on your apple trees just yet. That's what D Minor says. In a recent video, I mentioned that I might cut the apple trees out if they don't do anything. I think I'm going to give them another year, and we'll see if they produce anything. George and Kim Luther, I'm sorry. How are your bees doing? Well, I didn't produce the video about how the split was doing, but I went out there a few days ago. The split was doing great. The split without the queen was producing a bunch of queen cells, but here's a silly thing. I was just going to let them make a queen. That's probably not the best thing to do around here because it was probably going to maintain the angry behaviors. So I was talking to another local beekeeper. He's a professional beekeeper. He maintains 120 hives, and he had an extra queen in a cage, and he told me to go home and open those up and figure out which one has the queen and take all of the queen cells out and then put that queen in there. So I did that, and I was going to check today to see how she was doing, but with the weather, I'm not sure I'm going to open it up. So I don't know if that split, if they accepted the queen or not. Okay, still here, doing good. George and Kim Luther, sorry for your loss. Thank you very much. It was a very tough decision and a tough. It's one of those moments nobody really likes. But Nikki Tierney says we don't care how professional you are. That's good because I'm not. We just appreciate your time, sharing your journey, and you're doing great. Thank you very much. Let's see what Luke's dog looks like. Where's Harry? Is he out in the yard?
Yes.
Can you call him?
Harry.
Let me turn the camera around. Hi, Harry. Can you pet your dog?
I did.
Yep. Hey, Harry. All right. Here we go. That's Harry. Paul Otis, how are the bees doing? I explained that, but you say you're doing your first inspection today. Congratulations. Congratulations. I hope that works out really well for you. The beekeeping is a crazy roller coaster, and I'm up and down all the time. Any medicinal purpose for your daughter's tea? Meredith Grace. I don't know. She just likes to experiment. She's a very creative girl, and she just loves to put things together. So she was doing a little bit of reading on the different things that you can put in tea, figuring out what we have on the farm, and she just made it. And she did a really nice job. Thank you for moderating, all of you who have a ranch. It's very nice to see that you guys are here doing what needs done. Let's see. Tangi says, I have one blossom on my Arkansas black apple tree. It's 4 years old, and it's the first blossom. Hey, well, then there's hope. There's hope. I'm glad you get to see one beautiful apple blossom. There are ban features, I believe, for some of these people who have repeated negative comments. Let's see here. This is a family-friendly channel. Keep the rude comments. Yes. You know, there's a lot of negative comments, a lot of just silliness that goes on. I don't understand, but Homesteady, $5 on the super chat. Thank you so much. It says, Blake, gonna start our own orchard this year. Any advice to get it off to a good start? Well, let me tell you this advice. If I were able to go back 6 years ago when I started mine, based on what I know now, I would not plant my orchard where it is, because it gets a lot of water, way too much water going through it all the time. I'm trying to sculpt the land so the water navigates around, and in some cases, due to the swales, sits there and feeds it. But I'm definitely not there yet. And really, if I would have planted it just a little higher in the landscape, excuse me, I could have put one nice swale across it, and it would have fed the orchard and then drained off, keeping the roots of the trees a little drier. And I think it would have been a happier orchard. But it is where it is right now, and it would take a whole lot of work to move it. So I would say site plan, observe, look where you think you want to plant it. Make sure you have a nice natural water flow that you can put in some sort of retention, some swales, but not where it's going to be sitting in water. And then also another piece of advice for the orchard is to plant trees that are known to do well in your climate. I didn't do that. I planted things that I wanted to plant based on what I thought would be fun, and now I'm suffering some of the consequences because they're not producing very well, because they require more or less chill hours than we get. So look at the chill hours for your trees and do a little research and figure out what trees do well in your area or should do well in your area. All right. Let's see. Kitty's Homestead says, hey, Blake. Bayan Dahi Gelmas says, I'm very cute. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Scrolling through, trying to catch up. Suburban Hillbilly says, I'm sorry for your loss. I know what it's like. Thank you very much. It is an awful thing to endure. Unfortunately for our fur babies, most animals just don't live as long as we do. They don't have the long lifespan, so it's something we have to endure. Let's see. Awesome dog, Luke. Texas Blacksmith 10 says you have an awesome dog. All right, I'm trying to catch up. Sorry to be silent. Meredith Grace, thank you for answering. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Man, I missed a lot. Sorry if I'm missing some of your... I'm trying to catch the ones that are in all caps or catch my eye. Bandana Grandma's here. Her dwarf fruit trees are forming fruit. That is so exciting. 12 trees. That's fantastic. Shashakila, I love apple and cherry blossoms. Neither grow well here. I really wish cherry... There is a variety of cherry that is said to do well here in Texas, but most of them won't. Most of them like the northern climates better, just like apples. And but I grew up with a cherry tree, and there's good memories there. I wish we could grow cherries. Yes, some advice from Jared on J&J Acres. Plant trees that perform well in your climate. Blake and I both have apples that aren't producing, whereas other type of trees might be doing better for us. It's true. Jared is just a little further north than me, but he's still in a very warm climate. I told you, live video. It's bad for me. Climate. Rhonda says I'm very smart and hard worker. Thank you very much. Maybe not as smart as I need to be. Just kidding. The music well. Do you have any tips on starting rosemary? Seem to be having a lot of trouble. You know, I don't really have tips on rosemary. I have rosemary here that I'm fairly successful with, but I think I'm just lucky successful. I don't have any experience with really trying that hard to get it to work, so I'm sorry I don't have any advice. Shashakila says, I haven't found the cherry yet that does well here. Oh, well. I have only read about it. There's a cherry tree. I think it's more of a cherry bush that I'll have to do some research and send that to you, because I did read about one that does okay here, but like I said, it was only in reading, so I don't know. Hey, I think I made it to the end. It says... the music well. I have one survivor still from the last group of starts. That's the rosemary. And Tangi says rosemary likes to be hot and dry. Excuse me. Ignore it. And that's what I do with mine, so I guess that's pretty good advice. All right. Luke, do you want to sit down? I'm on the porch swing. Come on, bud. Lean back. Oh, where's your jacket? You decided to take your jacket off? Does the pear tree grow there? Does pear tree grow? Rhonda Rubble asked about... I have 4 pear trees. One of them has produced a bunch of pears, and the other 3 have produced none. The one that has produced pears is a Kiefer pear. I think that's Keifer or something like that. And the other 3 are Asian type pears. I can't remember exactly what they are, but they are the Asian or Oriental pears. And none of those have done anything. So I don't know if they're just going to produce later as they get older, or if I just chose the wrong varieties with that. But my Kiefer pears have done beautifully. Could it be the Barbados cherry? That sounds kind of familiar. It might be that one. I'll have to look it up later. Say good morning. You guys are a really fantastic group. I love how you talk to each other. That lets me know that I have a real community forming. When you guys can get in here and start talking to each other, and I'm not that important. The truth is, I'm not that important. You guys are ultimately the most important thing about this channel. Having a community that can come together and talk to each other and share stories together, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing to watch. Ooh, look. I'm going to spill my coffee, but we had to... Looks like we're bringing Jinga in since it got a little cold. This is Jinga. Jinga is a bearded dragon. He's near 14 years old, still kicking. I think he's a really cool looking guy. He loves to hang out with us. But because it's getting a little cold out here, he has an outdoor home. He has a vacation home, a summer home. He has two homes. So he has a summer home and his normal winter home. He's going to go upstairs to his winter home since today's a little cold. Luke, can you take Jinga inside?
Right now, dear.
I'm going to sit here and finish talking to the camera to all these beautiful people for a little bit. And Jinga needs to go inside because it's cold. Thanks, buddy. Oh, Espen made it in the house. Espen is my son. Hi, son. All right. The music, well, you say a lot of us see each other on other channels too. And that is a wonderful thing that you guys are getting to know each other in the comments and sharing on my channel and other channels. I love to see that. Sam Baker is in Canyon Lake, right up the road. That's right. Bandana Grandma says several of my I can't even say the word, dwarf fruit trees are espalier around our seating area into a living pickable fence. Doing well. That is a really cool technique where you take and train branches out straight and to train them, not always straight, but to train them to go along some structure, and it gives that you can grow more fruit in a smaller space, and it's really beautiful. So that's, I wish I could see that. That would be really nice. And Texas Blacksmith 10 talking about, I think, peppers that he's growing. That's really cool. All right. I was really hoping this morning to have a topic, something to come out here and share with you guys. But due to just this last week and some of the events recently, I haven't had the opportunity to really plan well. So I am glad this morning that the conversation can just free flow and happen. It's good to see you guys here. I'm going to probably wrap it up here in just a few minutes because it is getting cold and I have a lot of things to take care of. So I'm going to scroll through and see what other final questions I have and cut it a little bit short this morning. My apologies for sort of the haphazard method this morning, but I didn't want to miss this morning because I didn't want to miss you guys. I missed you last week and I didn't want to miss you again this week. So I'm really glad that I got to see you and that we can do this. Shashakila says the chill hasn't hit us yet. Should be here shortly. Yeah, it just really literally in a 10-second period when I was sitting out there earlier this morning, it was nice and comfortable. I came out without a sweatshirt and fun. And then just bam, like that, the wind came in and the temperature dropped at least 10 degrees. All right. How big will Jinga get and what is their life expectancy? He is full grown. That's as big as he's going to get. And I think the life expectancy is typically 12 to 15 years. I think that's what I read. So he's near the end of his expected life. But we're going to treat him as well as we can, as long as we can, to give him a good life for as long as we can stand it. For not stand it. That sounded bad. For as long as we can keep him. Do you think you will ever do a market garden or just keep it for your family? For now, it's just for my family. I don't produce nearly enough to do any sort of market gardening. Can you go talk to mommy? Okay. My quail, Kathy says my quail have a winter home and soon their summer home. Our pets, our animals and pets, they have it better than most of us, I think. Man, you guys are just chiming in and making this a wonderful experience. If you had to, would you do a live stream in the kitchen? I would love to do a live stream in the kitchen because there are several kitchen activities that I would love to demonstrate and talk about. But the lighting, we live in a log cabin. You can see our log cabin here. It's very dark inside. If it's even a little bit dark outside, it tends to be very dark inside. And even though our eyes adjust and we live in it fine, it doesn't seem that dark really to us. But on camera, it shows up really dark. So that's a very difficult thing to do unless I could have a lot of extra lighting, which someday I will invest in the extra lighting, but right now I don't have it. Okay, let's see. Samson Lacko, give me a shout out. Shout out to Samson Lacko. Here you go. Thanks for being with me, Samson. Live stream in the kitchen. You guys would really like that? If I did a live stream in the kitchen, what subjects, based on the videos that I've done, what subjects would you like best to see in the kitchen? Just give me a few tips in the last few minutes here. Give me a few things that you would like to see in the kitchen. Brownsville, Texas, Don Quixote, good morning. Fermented food, kombucha. Who does the... You want to see me do dishes? I've done a lot of dishes. Generally in our house, because of just the way things happen, my wife does do most of the dishes, but I like to jump in and help wherever I can. So occasionally I get to do dishes as well. Cooking, let's see. Kombucha, fermented food, cooking, teas. You know, it would be really cool to get if my daughter would come on, it would be cool to get her to show her some of her tea recipes that she's come up with the dried ingredients from our farm. Apple cider vinegar as well, I do that. Making hot jelly in the kitchen. That needs to be in your kitchen, Texas Blacksmith 10. You make some very good hot jelly. Recipes for the produce, for fresh produce. Fermenting. J&J Acres has to run. See you, Jared. Thanks for joining. Kimchi. Nikki Tierney says kimchi. I love kimchi. I haven't made a batch in the last couple weeks, but I do love that. It's very good stuff. Extracting honey. Hot sauce. Does moringa live through the winter here in Central Texas? My understanding, I only have the moringa so far that I've grown in the pots. The two that I thought died because the rats chewed them off. They made it through the previous winter, but they were overwintered in a greenhouse. I moved them in the greenhouse. Some people around here have them planted in the ground, and my understanding with that is that kind of like hibiscus, that they could die off, but then they grow back in the spring from the roots. So the question is yes and no. I mean, the answer is yes and no. Kombucha is gross. What are you talking about? The music well says kombucha is gross. All right. Teas. A tea video. I'm going to have to, I think doing a tea video would be fun, because then I could show some of the ingredients that we have here, like hibiscus, mulberry leaves, blackberry leaves, rose leaves, mint. What else do I have? Someone recently told me that what's it called? The Mexican mint marigold, which is different than typical marigold, that grows in my garden that makes great tea. There's probably other ingredients. I'm sure there's lots of other ingredients, but those are some that I've made tea out of, and then my daughter also has made tea. Freaky Geek 2 says, I want to start kombucha with 2 cups of tea, a very small batch. I'm not sure how much sugar to use. 2 cups of tea. Well, if you can do the math, so the tea to sugar ratio that I use for my sweet black tea to make the kombucha with is 1 cup per gallon of tea. So there's 16 cups of, 16 cups in a gallon, and you want 2 cups of tea. Gosh, I'm public math is bad for me, but it's going to be, so basically 1/8 cup of sugar for your 2 cups of tea. I think. I'm smiling because the music well says it is, man, and I'm sure he's talking about kombucha being gross. Apple pie moonshine. I've never made moonshine. I don't know how.
I need seeds.
Okay. Go talk to mommy, please. It's like root beer with sewage in it.
What, man?
Oh, that's funny. I want to see how you make your own spices, like your lemon powder. Okay, well, I did. So some of the spices that I've done, just to recap that, would be the lemon powder, the pepper powder, the moringa powder, kaya powder, and I think that's about it as far as powders and spices go. I've dried herbs and things like that for cooking, but those are the only powders that I can think of. I have never made root beer. Bandana Grandma says one of these days she's going to attempt making kombucha. Well, I guess some people think it's root beer with sewage in it, but most people like it. Sorry, I needed a coffee break there. So I do encourage you to try it out. Have you tried making anything with sassafras? I have. When I was younger, when I grew up in the Midwest, there was a lot of sassafras up there, and we did occasionally make sassafras tea. But down here, I'm not even sure if it's in Texas. It might be, but I haven't noticed or I haven't looked it up. So I've never done anything in my adult life with sassafras. Can't make moonshine legally, make lawnmower fuel. Ruth Williamson says, how do I know when my ACV is finally done? I can't tell. That's a good question. I generally go, there are, like, you can get pH meters and things like that to know exactly what the acid level is, and that's probably your best, most scientific way of knowing how it's done. But since I don't use any of those gadgets, I just trust my smell and my taste, and I can tell when it is acidic enough and has the flavor and the smell that I feel like it needs for whatever I'm using it for. Shashakila cutting out. See ya. Thanks for joining us. And Diamond Willow 2, I had to leave the garden because of the rain, but Luke's garden is doing really, really well. I've never tried brewing beer. And recently, for, I don't know, maybe it's been 6 weeks or so, I personally have been gluten-free just by choice, doing a little health experiment. And so I haven't had any beer or anything with gluten in it for all of that time. I live in zone. This is Carolyn Smith asking what plant zone I live in. I'm right on the edge of 8B and 9. So anything that's 8 and 9, typically we do okay with. Music Well says I can't even drink root beer. Maybe that's a hindering factor with kombucha. Maybe. Thank you, the Music Well, for trying it. That's what I tell my kids. If you really don't like it, thank you for trying it. So you have tried it. Thank you for doing that. Well, I said I was going to get off here, but you guys you're just making me sit here and talk. See, I thought sassafras was in the South too because all those old westerns where Wimpy Guy, the Wimpy Guy ordered sassafras from the saloon. It might be in the South, but my memories of it are from the Midwest. And if it's here, I would love to know that it's here because I would love to get some. That makes me sound like the Wimpy Guy. All right. Self-reliance and a strong community says, growing up here, we had a sassafras tree in Houston. Well, good. There you go. At least we know it'll grow in the Houston area, which means it'll probably do okay here too. Their climate's a little different, but Chandler Riggs says, hey, Blake Kirby. Howdy. All right. All right. I reached the end, and I am 52 minutes in, so you guys made me go nearly a whole hour. I'm going to go ahead and jump off here, but I want to thank, before I leave, I want to give a special thank you to all of you who are my patrons. The Patreon account is a nice way to connect with people just on a different platform. You guys are wonderful to give a small donation every month to help keep the creative efforts of the Daddykirbs farm going. That little extra income helps me to purchase some of the camera equipment, the microphones, the tripods. Even recently I did purchase, you haven't seen a whole lot of it, but I did purchase from my son. He was selling his drone, so I used the Patreon money to purchase that. And it is just wonderful having that platform and that way to connect with people. So thank you very much. I am truly blessed to have you guys as an audience. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.